guests are here to talk about dating, how to win in the dating game, which is why it's interesting. Mel Schilling and Elizabeth Day are here with How to Date is your podcast. But just on that, Mel, people do meet partners in the gym. This all came about because there's a study saying that a huge number of women get approached in gyms and have inappropriate comments made to them in the gym, and it's very intimidating. But as a space to find somebody to date, would a gym be a good place?
Well, it's a good point. It could be a great place because if you've got people with similar values, maybe they value health and fitness, they go to the gym, they're going to meet people in the right place. But I just have a problem with grunting.
That's very specific. That's niche.
Yes.
I have a problem with them taking up all the weights. Like, I actually love doing weights, but I do feel intimidated.
Do you feel intimidated? So do you think that the men spread too much, take too many weights?
Yeah, they're man-spreading in the weights area.
And they're making the wrong sort of noises.
But you might meet your future romantic partner there. So swings and roundabouts.
Right.
There is a balance, of course, right?
If you don't meet them in a gym, luckily we're here to help.
Oh,
there are other ways to meet them.
See
how she did
She's a professional.
You could be listening to the podcast in the gym, of course, which is a double whammy. So just explain a little bit then, Elizabeth, because this How to Date is the third in your series, your amazing podcast series. How to Fail is your podcast that I really enjoy, which is where you met, I think.
Yes.
Explain a little bit about what the plan is or what's the thought and theory behind How to Date.
I'm so thrilled that Mel has agreed to do her first ever podcast with me. So How to Date is 8 weeks, and essentially it's a toolkit to change your romantic life. We teach you everything that you need to know about navigating modern romance. Mel has the expertise, the warmth, the insight. I'm there to share a few funny anecdotes because we both went through it as well. We were both single in our late 30s and we both met our husbands online. So we feel that we've got a lot to share, and it can be really difficult understanding how to date, and that's what we're here to help with.
I love this idea that you've been there and done that, and you've got the T-shirt, and actually you've ended up in really happy relationships. So what would be your advice for people who are thinking about maybe going online to date?
Well, a big premise underlying this How to Date podcast is to date yourself first.
Yes, I love that.
Yes, we talk a lot about really self-centred dating is a philosophy, I guess, that we're really preaching here. And yes, it's great to go out and meet your partner and to have the flirtation and all the exciting stuff. But if you don't work on yourself first, if you don't get clear on your dating goal and what it is that you really want, what your values are, then you're not going to meet a compatible partner. So that would be our first port of call, and certainly this podcast starts at the first date. Well, are you ready? And then takes you through the life cycle of a dating process.
One of the brilliant things about How to Fail, your other podcast, Elizabeth, is listening to very well-known, very successful people talking about all those moments in their life where things have gone horribly wrong and they've picked themselves up and they've learnt from it. Your dating experience, I'm assuming...
What's the link?
Yes, I'm assuming there are moments that you share that maybe you can share where things have gone wrong for you, because you obviously found someone you're very content now, but you have to go through the bit of failure along the way.
100%, and that's something that Mel talks about so brilliantly, that rejection is part of the process. You can't escape it. And I definitely did have some rejections, and I also had one particularly memorable dating anecdote where a man, you know, we dated for quite a few weeks, and then he brought a camp bed to stay over in my flat. And I was like, why have you brought a camp bed with you? He's like, I just don't like your mattress. It's very uncomfortable. And it's just things like that.
It's so
it's,
hot.
you know, you think it is a funny anecdote, but also there's a slight sort of value misalliance there. And that was a good wake-up call for me. But ultimately...
Well, because he didn't like your mattress, he's not going to like me.
I just thought, I can't be with this person who's sort of rolling off me onto this.
Oh, what a visual.
That's quite graphic.
That did escalate.
So sorry. I'm reeling myself back in. It was what we call a pink flag, in that it wasn't quite a red flag, but it did alert a slight warning signal in my head. And then he ended up doing something much meaner afterwards, and I was like, oh, I was right to end it. But one of the things that we talk about in How to Date is about how to handle rejection and heartbreak.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I learned, which fed into How to Fail, was that we can learn something from every single experience. Even if it feels like a failure at the time, you acquire necessary data, and it might be that the data you acquire is about who you are, what you expect from a relationship, what you feel is worthy of you, and you can eliminate the people who are wrong for you from your inquiry. So if you start thinking of rejection in dating as data acquisition. It takes the sting out of it a bit.
Yeah. And Mel, when you on the podcast, you talk about how you were learning to be a dating coach at the same time, and you were kind of experimenting by being on social media yourself.
Yes, I put myself into the experiment. And so I was learning first-hand experience whilst I was learning the theory as well. And looking back, I think in many ways I hid behind that.
Yes.
Sort of saying, I'm not really serious about dating, I'm just doing some experimentation, but really I desperately wanted to be in a relationship, but I was just giving off all the wrong signals.
You said you were smug, which I appreciate that openness. I can't imagine it because you're so lovely. But I was really intimidated by the dating scene, and you said you were quite smug.
I intimidated them somehow.
Well, look, we've got some questions from some of our viewers who are very keen to get your advice, if we can. This is from Robin. Robin says, I have alopecia. I'm struggling with talking about it on dates, especially knowing how long I have to wait before gaining enough confidence to show them my head without a wig. She clearly wears a wig. I've been single for 6 years. Dating is a struggle. I'm turning 35 this year, and I'm worried I won't find a man to accept me.
Yeah. Oh, Robin. This is a tough one because it's so personal, isn't it? And look, we talk with a lot of people who are dealing with an ongoing health issue in the dating world. And whilst it's difficult, I think one of the best pieces of advice that we could give you here is to lead with it. Now, I know you've probably got some feelings about that and it feels a bit tough, but really, when you break it down, if you are leading with, this is my situation, I have alopecia, this is what I live with, and that scares the person off, well, then that's the wrong person.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So clever.
Isn't she?
Yes. If she just breaks it down, it's like, oh, of course.
So Robin's got to be braver, though. I mean, that's the issue.
Takes
She's obviously
bravery.
struggling with it anyway.
Yeah. Yes.
But to be able to lead with it, if you can, then you're going to meet the right people.
Yes.
I think she sounds like she's already brave and she can just apply that bravery in this way. I totally agree with you. I wish I'd had Mel in my ear when I was
Yes,
in
just
the wild.
like Jiminy Cricket on your shoulder a little bit.
In a pink dress.
Yeah, exactly. This next one's from Tara. She says, I've been single for nearly 7 years due to my marriage breaking down after my husband had numerous affairs. It's holding me back from going on dates. My friend has kindly written my dating profile, but I'm scared that nobody will find me attractive. I've also looked at going to a single and mingle event, but I'm quite shy when I first meet someone new. How do I build my confidence up after divorce?
Tara, the first thing I want to say to Tara is well done for what you've survived, and I'm so sorry that happened to you.
Yeah.
It's so difficult navigating dating when you've gone through heartbreak or loss or divorce. I did it. I was divorced in my mid-30s. And the first thing I would say is it sounds like you've got really good friends, so definitely lean into that. Mel's a big advocate of having a date squad of people. They don't necessarily need to be doing the same things as you are, but they can cheerlead you, they can help you, they can reassure you when maybe your confidence is feeling a bit dented. Then I would say take some time to date yourself first.
Yes.
Take some time to really nurture yourself because it sounds like you've been in a marriage where your needs were not placed at the centre where they should have been. And sometimes that means that you've lost touch with your own desires. You don't really know what you like to do or how you like to spend your time. So I would encourage you to spend some time on yourself, whether it's going to the cinema on your own in the middle of the day, having a long bath, do the things that really nourish you. And then I would say it's completely understandable that you're a bit scared and vulnerable about putting yourself out there, but it sounds like you're already in the right mindset, and I salute you for that. And I promise you that there will be someone out there who really respects your vulnerability and maybe has been through a similar thing. And so don't be scared about sharing your past, but make different decisions this time.
Excellent. Good advice.
Brilliant
Tara.
advice. Thank you both for coming in.
The
How to
podcast
Date is out
is
today.
brilliant.
Thank you.
Set comes out today?
Yes.
Yes, there you go. So it's 8-parter. How
All
to
the
Date.
tools you need.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank
and
you,
let us
Mel.
know, if you're at home and you listen to the podcast, let us know how you get on with your dating. 'Cause I think
Please
we've got
do.
something special there. Thank you both.
Thank you for
guys.
visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. And we'll see you in the morning.